testament to Josh.
Great quarterback.
Josh is so good at his job. If you go to him and you're like, hey, Josh, find me numbers that make this case, he'll find them for you.
There's the Gatorade bath, and Mahomes had 200 yards after that moment. And finally, friend of the show, Alex Pillow wins in Indy. My guy, Newgarden, does not finish. And Nick drank the milk already. You should have saved that for this part of the show.
Oh, okay,
That's okay. Do it again. Here we go.
Sloppy,
And we're back.
sloppy.
You got to let it.
All over the
You
beard.
drank the entire.
Wow.
There's a lot of milk to drink in the first minute.
You gonna be all right?
I'll be fine. It's good for you.
Take a break.
It's just a lot of milk
for
to
the
drink right away.
Yeah, it is a lot.
Well, you
I
know
hope
what?
you-
You got so many
hope you make
critiques.
it.
I should have done it later. I shouldn't have drank as much. Why don't you worry about setting up
Not
the show?
sloppy
I'll worry
enough.
about drinking the milk because I'm the champion here. I'm the Pillow guy. And shout out DraftKings, 5-1. Oh, nice little taste.
Also, Pillow is here tomorrow. Can we get some more milk?
Yeah, Pillow's here tomorrow,
be fun.
and you guys are going to have to look him in the eye and say, I didn't think you could win on an oval. I didn't think you could beat a guy who started in last place. That's what you guys are going to say. And I'm
Not
going to
me.
say,
I had him on the
we're
bud
changing.
list, atop the list, knowing that he probably went after that.
Starting with another New York comeback. Carl Anthony Towns
was a lot of milk.
had 20 points
We're going to have to do a segment without Nick.
to erase what was once a 20-point lead for the Pacers as they dropped their first game at home. Here was Jalen Brunson after the game.
Unpredictable. I mean, obviously, no lead safe. It's an emotional game. It's a long game. Things can happen. Things can not go your way. And you can easily, obviously, crash out or you can respond the right way.
Nick's like,
He's burping during the
if
soundbite.
he's not here during the D
we're not
block,
on
you
the
know
air.
why.
Just keep it between us.
Drank too much milk.
It's for the audience.
Could you drink a little bit of milk?
Go ahead.
Brew, what was the #1 reason the Knicks came back?
You saw him on the screen. Carl Anthony Towns. I got to give him his love, give him his props. He woke up. This was turning into a disastrous game for Carl Anthony Towns. The Knicks in general, but him in particular. Had this kind of continued to go the way it did through most of the first 3 quarters of the game, man, New Yorkers would have been all over Cat. He had 4 points. He had 4 turnovers. 7 rebounds is fine through the first 3 quarters.
Yep.
Okay, so this is, they're losing essentially a must win. They're about to go down 3-0. He doesn't show up. He would get drilled. If not, there'd be calls for them to move him in the offseason. Instead, he answers the call, 20 points in the 4th quarter. On record, only the second Knick to go 20 or more in a quarter. Jalen Brunson did it last year. It only goes back to like 97, so maybe Ewing or somebody did it before that. But he drove to the basket. He was aggressive. He hit threes. He got to the foul line. Look, nobody on the Pacers, with all due respect to Miles Turner and Bradley and Siakam, nobody should be able to hold Cat. And Nick, you did your rankings, which I agree with. Cat's the 3rd best player in this series.
Yeah.
He should be the best. He has the best pedigree of all of them.
He
should be ahead of Halliburton. He should be ahead of Brunson. And last night, you joked about it before the show. Why doesn't he play like this all the time? We get it. You're not going to score 20 in a quarter all the time. But he's got to stay aggressive.
Yep.
And the thing is, they're not better without Jalen Brunson. No one with a brain would think that. But it's interesting that their 2 game-turning runs in this series. Game 1, 4th quarter, Brunson's out with foul trouble. They're going to 14-0 run to take control. The last game last night, they make their run with Brunson out. They were down 13 when he went out with like a minute and a half left in the 3rd quarter. He gets back in early in the 4th. They had gone on a 16-7 run with him on the bench to get within 4, and now it's a ball game.
And then he went out again in the 4th.
And then they scored. Yeah. He scored some buckets in the 4th. I just think they need to be less Brunson-centric.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you can even change that right now. But in the offseason, should they lose this series, they got to look at, we got more guys than just Jalen who can give us 20.
Well, the flip side of that, and this is something Knick fans I know have been pining for Tibbs to do more of all year, and he kind of had his hand forced into doing it last night, which is when Brunson is out, be more Cat-centric.
Yeah.
Have there be these pockets of time when Brunson is on the bench, and those pockets of time don't turn into, oh, this is when we're going to be the egalitarian offense. No, let Cat really cook in those moments. And I also, so listen, the biggest reason you are correct, but that was not the sole reason, so I want to talk about the other things. I think that starting Mitch, even though it didn't feel like it had the hugest impact, I thought that was smart. It is a first cousin of the point that I've been making all playoffs about the Knicks and Mitch and the hack-a-Mitch strategy and the way that impacts him and the way he plays. You're guaranteed not to deal with that at the start of a quarter. That includes the game, second quarter, half, so I thought that was smart. I also thought him saying, all right, as far as our bench guys I don't really trust, I'll lean on, I'm going to go with the guy who's the better defender in DeLon Wright over offensive player in campaign, was very smart and very useful. And I think that in this instance, the Brunson foul trouble in that specific game did help them, because he was having one of his worst offensive games of the playoffs and maybe his worst defensive game ever. And so,
they're always going at it.
And they were specifically targeting him, and he was showing no resistance. And then, because he made the joke earlier, before the series, he was like, listen, everyone's a good defender, and then he's like, well, and I take charges. Acknowledging he can't really be the defender he needs to be. He can't even do the take charges thing when he's in foul trouble. So he's already a bad defender. You see this happen to Luka sometimes, where it's like, it's one thing to be a bad defender. It's another thing to be a bad defender that's also afraid to foul. Then you're just a turnstile. So in yesterday's game, I thought Brunson going out wasn't necessarily bad for him. I also think that there is something to the fact that Halliburton, the last two games, has not been very good. And that the Knicks wing defenders, I know he's their point guard, but he's not being guarded by the Knicks point guard, are able to slow him down a bit and give him some issues, I think is a really big reason for optimism for the Knicks.
Cat last night, quarters 1 through 3, Brew, you touched on it, only had 4 points. In the fourth quarter, he had 20. It's his second career 20-point fourth quarter, which is basically one of the best quarters of his career. You can make an argument it's the crowning achievement.
No, it's the best moment of his career. There's no question about it.
I don't know. I wasn't ready to go. I saw you crying when they beat the, who'd they beat when I had to switch over from the...
You saw me crying?
No, not Cat. You crying. Remember Cat when everybody was upset when...
Oh, when they beat Denver?
Yeah.
No, but that wasn't... No, this was...
No, not when they beat Denver. When I was my Ja Morant, when I had to flip over, and it wasn't even him. It was Patrick Beverly going crazy.
Oh, yeah. No. This is, I think... the best moment of his career.
I thought he was unbelievable. Once he gets a little bit of confidence and he's doing his finger guns.
Cat is a great talent. He is a great talent. Yeah, and you hear him say it, and this kind of goes to your point, Nick. And I don't want to hear him say this, but he has said, the ball wasn't finding me, or they're not getting. He's not blaming his teammates, but I'm like, you're good enough.
That's right.
Where you go get the ball. Or you just decide, I'm taking it on this play because you're that level of player. So that's what he did with Brunson out. Probably no coincidence, but he's just got to be that aggressive all game long.
Just real quick, I also think against most teams, and Miles Turner's a good player and Siakam's doing his best, they don't really have anyone that can handle Cat's physicality when he wants to play that way. I think that his great three-point shot, which is great for any player and historically great for a big man. Like we poke fun at him calling himself the greatest three-point shooting big man of all time. He's in the discussion for it.
If you just true centers.
Right, true centers. You move Durant and those Dirk. But in certain matchups, the three ball needs to be his secondary pitch. Like that you understand? Like he needs to make them prove that they can, because he's good at driving to the basket. It's not like he just has to post up and get the ball. He can do it in the fourth quarter last night, which is start at three-point line, then go in. Like, he can do that more often.
Played great. In the West, meanwhile, the Wolves got out to an early lead and ended up routing the Thunder. Ant had 30 as Minnesota won by 42. SGA gave a review of the game during the game. Take a listen.
Turnovers early. They were more physical early, and they made shots and we missed shots. But the other two are first. And then on top of this, they had a great night, we had a bad night. So it's like 40. But if we like take care of these, we can still lose because of this night, but it doesn't look like this, you know?
Okay. No eventual champion brew has ever lost by 40. High 30s.
A bunch have lost by 38 and 39, though.
But dating back to 85.
Yeah. But it's crazy that those 3 of the last 4 are teams.
It's a 3-ball.
Yeah. No, you're probably right.
No
85 was the Memorial Day Massacre.
And the Celtics one was while they were up 3-0 in the finals.
Yeah.
That's when they did it.
Brew, are your Wolves back?
Well, first of all, I love SGA that moment. I mean, that's a leader. That's a great, a guy that stays even keeled. Like, that was solid. And I obviously, you guys know I picked Minnesota. I'm just saying he deserves props in my opinion for that.
Felt like a teacher.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I don't know if the
like a
teammate
coach
he was talking to was like, oh my gosh, we're getting blasted or what, or if it's just a conversation. But to that point, they did get blasted. And to me, that means something. I mean, that graphic speaks for itself, but the Timberwolves they did more than win yesterday. They made a statement, or Saturday. They made a statement. And the statement was, we can impose our will on you. This doesn't happen to OKC. They have this group together. They've only been in the playoffs 2 years. I've harped on that before. They've lost 7 games by a total of the 2 years, 49 points.
Prior to this one.
Prior to this. And now you get in one, you're down 45, lose by 42. They had